I have been playing a ton of Borderlands 4 lately, and I am really loving it. Even in an absolutely stacked 2025, Borderlands 4 stands out as one of the most pure fun video games I've played all year, and the game's trademark over-the-top combat and loot cycle has got its hooks in me big time. However, the more I play, the more I feel like it's missing just one thing that could really put it over the top and make it one of my favorite games of the year. And in this video, I want to talk about just exactly what that is. If you like today's content, please be sure to give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. It helps a ton. And with that being said, let's talk some Borderlands. So like I said, for the most part, I am really loving my time with this game. Borderlands 4's combat and co-op mechanics are the best in the business. They've always been great, and they feel more refined than ever here in Borderlands 4. Like I said, when in terms of moment-to-moment gameplay, this is some of the most fun I've had with a video game in a while. Sure, it's pretty mindless, there's not a ton to it, but blasting your enemies to pieces with a couple of friends feels so great. All of the guns feel unique and powerful, and they're all satisfying to use in different ways. And like I said, that moment-to-moment gameplay just can't be topped. I've been even more impressed though with the game's other features. Its open world has really surprised me, and it's extremely impressive. I mean, this game feels huge. Even 30 hours in, there's still tons of the map that I have not been to at all. There are a million collectibles scattered all over the place, tons of side quests and bounties and different things to find and secrets and Easter eggs. I mean, it really does feel like this world is huge and robust and could keep you busy for hours and hours and hours. I know a lot of people have really sung the praises of the game's story and dialogue, and to me, it hasn't really left that much of an impression on me. I know a lot of people said it's a huge improvement over Borderlands 3. Personally, I never played that one. I've only played 1 and 2. And maybe I haven't given the story much of a chance because usually when I'm playing, I have my friends in my ears or a podcast playing, that sort of thing. So I'm probably not giving it a fair shake. It seems fine. The dialogue seems maybe less cringy than it has been in the past. And there's kind of an interesting pull to the story. But for me, that's not really why I play Borderlands. And like I said, the gameplay itself, the combat, it's all blown me away. It's all been a ton of fun. And that's what I come to Borderlands for. So I'm happy. There are a couple little gripes I have about the game. You know, I feel like the UI can be a little bit confusing at times, especially when it comes to tracking missions or marking a waypoint on your map, or when it comes to navigating all of your loot and selling it. Like, I just feel like there should be better ways to quick sell things or to snap to a new mission. I mean, everything is functional and you're able to do everything you want, but I don't know, for me, some of it just seems a little bit clunkier than I feel like it should be in this game, especially with Borderlands, when so much of the game is that loot cycle and just getting tons and tons of items. I feel like navigating them and comparing your new guns to your old guns and that sort of thing, it should just be a little bit cleaner than the interface is here. Not a huge gripe, just something that I feel like there's room for improvement there, and maybe they will. I mean, this is a game that they're obviously going to support for a long time. But for me, it just feels like that stuff's a little bit more cumbersome than it should be. I know there's been a lot of complaints about performance and that sort of thing. To me, I haven't really had any of that. Maybe slight frame rate dips at times and that sort of thing, but I'm pretty sensitive to that, and I've been pretty impressed with the game's performance overall on my PS5 Pro, and luckily I haven't run into any of those issues, so all great on that end. And like I said, these gripes that I have are relatively minor, just because all of the combat and the moment-to-moment gameplay is so damn fun here. However, I do feel like there might be room for improvement in this game in one regard, and that's what I want to talk about today. And for me, I just feel like there could be a better sense of progression in this game. And let me explain. Obviously in Borderlands, the case has always been you're completing missions and side quests and that sort of thing, but your main sense of progression comes from leveling up. Everything you do gives you experience points, and your level goes up for your Vault Hunter, and then you're able to obviously unlock their skill trees and get new perk points and that sort of thing, and really build your Vault Hunter that way. And that is a very satisfying sense of progression, especially here. Leveling up, unlocking a new perk point, and adding to your build feels substantial, and you really do feel your character getting stronger and stronger with each level up, especially when you hit some of the more substantial perks and that sort of thing. So I do feel like that is a great sense of progression that really pulls you through, and I've been satisfied with that. But I feel like this game would benefit from a second pillar of progression, and what I mean by that is maybe a better sense of stat tracking and challenges. You have the challenge menu that records various different things that you do, and it basically rewards you for milestones you hit, like kill this amount of enemies or use this kill skill to kill this many enemies, that sort of thing. And it's cool that that's there, but I think that as Borderlands 4 is really leaning into being a live service game and wanting to be like a forever game, I feel like it could benefit from some of that being a little bit cleaner. Maybe a certain stat hub for your character where you have details of your entire journey through Borderlands just at a glance. You can see how many enemies of each variety you've killed, any cool feats that you've accomplished, that sort of thing. You know, I've been playing a lot of Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong lately, and what really impressed me about those games is just you have basically like the catalog where you can see all of the enemies that you've killed at a glance and which kinds of enemies and that sort of thing. And that's kind of here in Borderlands 4, but it's buried under the challenges and it's kind of fragmented into a bunch of different tabs. And I think putting that all into a clean player profile sort of hub would be beneficial and would kind of give you more of a sense of progression as you play through the game. I mean, this is a game that you're meant to play for basically ever, for hundreds of hours. So just having all those stats compile as you play, I think would be great. And then they could even take it a step further where maybe you get certain, I don't want to use the word trophies or achievements, but maybe you get something tangible for completing certain things, right? Maybe if you kill a 500,000 enemies, you get some sort of badge or something like that. Or if you kill a boss in a certain amount of time, you get something. Maybe you get some sort of physical, or not physical, but some sort of reward in game that you can show off. I feel like this game is also kind of missing a player profile system. You know, when you're playing with your friends, all you can really see is their name and their class and their level. And I think that this, in a game that is really leaning into the live service elements, it would be really cool to be able to, when you're playing with other players, view some sort of profile that they have, right? Where you can see where they maybe list some of their career highlights or some of their best accomplishments that they've completed in Borderlands. I feel like something like that kind of gives you more of a sense of ownership over your Vault Hunter and kind of allows you to flex your achievements more. I think that would be huge for the game. I mean, Borderlands 4 is predicated on its online components, and especially its co-op components, but it feels like its social features are kind of lacking in that regard. I'm not asking for anything crazy, but I think like a player profile that you can put certain accomplishments on and view other players' profiles, that sort of thing. I don't know. I feel like that would be huge for this game. And I think that would give this game more legs than it already has. To me, it feels like, I don't know. I feel like Borderlands 4 kind of missed the mark by not having some of those features. Of course, they have shown that this is a game they're going to be adding on to for years. It's basically a live service title. They've already got a roadmap out. So, hey, maybe this stuff will come to the game. And, maybe we don't need it, right? Maybe my brain has been a little bit poisoned by PlayStation trophies and I want more in-game trophies and rewards that I can show off to other people and that sort of thing. So maybe I'm in the minority and maybe this isn't as big of a deal to most players, but I feel like it would be a pretty easy addition and it would go a long way for a lot of the achievement sickos like myself and, people who want to flex some of their achievements and that sort of thing. So anyway, I'd like to hear from you though. Please give me your thoughts in the comments below. Does Borderlands 4, do you think it could use something like this? Do you think the game is perfect as it is? Or maybe you just haven't played the game yet. There are a ton of good games coming out right now. I know not everyone's gotten to Borderlands 4, but like I said, overall, I'm loving it. It's definitely going to be in my rotation for the rest of the year. And though it has its flaws, like I said, its moment-to-moment gameplay in terms of fun factor is pretty hard to beat. So that's all I got today. Thanks again for being here. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.